That's tough. What's good with it, y'all? What's good? Y'all come on in real quick. The streets is hot. I'm just trying to squeeze in for a second, squeeze in a little bit of commentary for a second. Come on in the room. I promise you, I'm not gonna be long. Um, I'm hoping that there's no whole lot of background noise because I have my earbuds in. Hey Beverly, how are you? Um, Let me know if you hear too much background, anything like that. Let me know. I am headed to the house, but when I get there, I'm not going to be going into my studio to do any lives. Spend time with my daughter, probably watch Squid Games, season two. Um, After I get my shower and carry on, you know how we do. Um, get my shower, then we're gonna be watching a movie. Come on in the room, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Uh, hey Shalene, hey Beverly, hey Nita. Yeah, so I just want to ask, it's been a wild last couple of weeks with this YouTube stuff. And first and foremost, I want to shout out Amber Graham. I really do. Um, Basically, what's up, DT? How are you, my dude? Salute to you, King. Basically, Amber has been the butt of the jokes. She has been, I guess people have put this stigma on her as being, blamed for everything that happens when it comes to fake pages and things of that nature. Um, I want to shout out Amber Graham for, always speaking from her truth and not wavering, not bowing down to the insults, to the lies that was being spoken onto her. And she had a day yesterday. I can only imagine after being lied on for so long, and everybody questioning it. Even people that rock with her don't know what to believe. Um, and she literally, I think that was just a, I don't know. I can only imagine what kind of relief that could be, to see that people really knew that there were other people behind these pages, and they wanted everybody to believe it was her. You know, um, that to me was, you turn people against each other in this saga, and it has happened. I remember believing that Sweet Mom was speaking in codes to Amore and all of that, right? And we all believe that type of stuff, um, including myself. I believed it because I didn't think that it was too far stretch. I didn't know her like that, not to believe it. And I hate that to this day. I hate that I even believe that. Um, I hate that. I mean, it's nasty. It's just crazy for people to try to disarm your team or disarm your side, have you fighting against each other by throwing in fake pages and changing names to accounts and coming in people's chats, stirring up um drama. Then when people are trying to investigate what's going on, they blame one or two people. It seems like Amber and Sweet Mom was our strongest links, and they had the most. Um, I would say they wanted them out the way. Wanted them out the way. Because I believe, I didn't know what to believe when it came to Amber. I just told Amber, if you telling me you not this, then I'm gonna trust you. And it was just became a trust thing. I just had to trust it. And I just said, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not just going to just take whatever word is being spoken to me and then I run with it. I'm not doing that again. So I stayed in the paint with Amber and I said, I'm going to trust it. I'm going to trust you that you're not that person. You ain't got nothing to do with this, that, and the third. And you got me as a friend. And I'm so glad that I stood right there with her because she stood with me. When I was going through stuff on this internet, Amber stood right there in the paint with me. And I want to say shout out to Amber Graham. You are a Jew, and I'm praying for you. Praying for your success in your channel, and don't let nothing that's coming any harm your way that let it take you off your goal and your focus. So I think Amber is a wonderful human being in my book, and I've always said that. And I'm thank God I've stood flat footed on that part. I'm happy I've gotten to know Amber. Wow, that yesterday was a doozy, y'all. It was just a lot to take in. Um, Even when the Candyman thing came out, that it wasn't Amber, that to me um meant a lot because that particular page, me and another young man content creator, we was about to get into it real heavy, you know, and didn't know who was behind that, So people say, well, it's Amber, is Amber this, is Amber that. So you don't know who's doing what, So I want to say shout out to Amber Brown. Um, the other thing I wanted to talk about, hey, Big Cheese, salute to you, King. Hey, blessed beyond measures. Terry Dow, salute to you, King. Pretty green eyes. Sweet sensation. How you doing, beautiful? Beverly, everybody coming in the building. Thank y'all so much. Like Amber said, walking through the door. I think she tried to mock me when I say walking through the door. Kimberly Mirrors walking through the door. What's going on with it? But no, this thing with Kevin, y'all, I wanted to really, really bring it home to some degree. I don't know, hey, A Stokes, if I'll be able to really do it justice. Maybe I will still, but I wanted to highlight some things, this time around with Kevin. At some point, I would think that another grown man would tell a story and kind of, at some point move on or either make it right with the dude and y'all piece it up and agree to disagree, whatever it could be. But what I saw was when it came to Royce is that she wanted to, I don't know what, it seems as if when Dwight Howard got engaged, it triggered something. And she went to the internet and became very unhinged. And but prior to that, she name dropped Kevin. And I want y'all to imagine this. Kevin's not going around name dropping her, right? But for one of the days or the nights or whatever have you at Dwight's house, this is the main day that she wants to throw his name into it to make a connection, right? Make Dwight and him to make some type of connection between them two to line up with how Callie's trip went. And basically a man that is literally 5 years removed from that situation, trying to move on with his life, have two beautiful wives, and he's doing different things that benefits him and his family. But you have people trying to recant stories, but still name dropping you as if you have done something that I guess that deserves this name drop, right? Every time she does it. Now she did it on Vlad TV intentionally in my book, very intentional. That she name dropped his name because, and I'll tell you why it was very intentional. Because there were other people there that she's still cool with that she made certain that their names wasn't included as she began to tell that story. And so, and I want you to imagine if this party or whatever it was, the ceremony was so horrific. If it was so horrific and something bad was going to happen at this party or the ceremony, why are you protecting names that were also there? Why would you be protecting other people that were also there? And understanding that you don't, hey Peaches, that you don't even have an alleged anything to allege illegally that was done to you. There was nothing done to you, nothing. But you name dropping this specific day for what reason then? You didn't call the police and say something was done to you. You didn't call the police and say, hey, I see this happening and I'm witnessing it. No. You intentionally dropping his name. And then you follow it up the minute you get mad at Dwight for getting engaged. Here you is with this whole name drop again, and you making sure, oh, let me not forget to do this. It does seems to me that you're triangulating in cahoots and conspiring to drop this man's name for whatever reason. This man has not done nothing to you, but there's some type of vendetta because it seems like the only way that Dwight wanted you in his life was with another woman to be also included in that union. But now it seems like Dwight has finally decided to just move on with one woman and be in a unanimous situation. And I think that is very difficult for you to process. So you have to have the guru connect it to your mouth where you didn't date this man or whatever have you. So what, you didn't have a baby by him. So why is your issue with the guru? It just doesn't make sense, right? So one of the things that Callie's story, to me, he included, and he wanted people to believe that he was being held against his will. He wanted people to believe things. And because they didn't know what this woman was going to say, they must have didn't go over her story well enough for it to not affect anybody else's story. And this is where it gets deep. Hey, Amber, you missed it. You got to go back to the beginning of the live, Amber, where I spoke about you. I know you didn't probably expect to hear anything, but I did speak on you at the beginning of this live. This is where it gets really, really, really crazy because this woman's, well, once you start pulling everybody's experience out of that house, the common denominator is that they were all having a trip. They're all on their separate individual trips. And you can't just start making stuff up because once you start hearing somebody else's story, it's going to almost debunk something that was said prior, right? So it's very difficult to start saying, hey, I know who walked you to that bathroom. You don't know who walked that man to that bathroom. You're just throwing it in there to make the story sound that much better. You even forgot, Royce even forgot to mention that she took the keys and the phone from a young lady while she was.
Give me a second. That she took the keys. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. My daughter just tried to call. Put a one in the chat if y'all can still hear me. Put a one right there. Amber, okay, we got a one. Okay, so what I'm saying is this, y'all. She took the keys in a phone from a young lady while she's been, I guess, put in a certain room so she could kind of handle the she was really nauseated and probably having a lot of motion sickness going on. And and for somebody to come in the room and say, "Hey, give me your keys and give me your phone," right? And it set this woman off into a panic attack. This is her story. It set her off to into a whole panic attack that she didn't have these items. And part of the story was that Callie seen her with this phone early on, and she called her brother, and she was able to speak to her brother. Right? No one, no one came around and say, "Hey, you can't be on the phone." She was just free willy speaking. But Callie tapped her and said, "Hey, you ain't supposed to be on your phone." But she was on the phone with her brother, and she also drove herself to this place. So when she gets to a place where in her high, hey Joanne, she was, put in a place where somebody was looking out for her. This definitely is not a ceremony to take advantage of people. So the workers that were there that Royce wanted to keep anonymous in her, I got you. I'm not going to say anything, drop your name, is the fact that if they were there assisting, then that means that they were not trying to harm people, because you're definitely trying to protect these people for not being included into this strange story of behavior. And you don't want it to uh, go against Callie's claims, right? But what happens here is that if Callie was saying, "Hey, I was being held against my will," he made a 911 call, which we all know that he was not being held against his will. That his ride was definitely trying to, somebody was calling his ride and trying to get him not to just wander off. Um, then this young lady's story makes sense. That she was able to get her keys back. That Royce took her keys, and if that's the case, Royce will be assisting a kidnapping by taking someone's keys and a phone. To the logic that Callie had. But no, this woman can recall a lot of things that she said was consensual, and she stayed multiple days after. So if that's the case, she wasn't held against her will, and she did not. She just got to a place in her life where she realized she done some stupid stuff. I would never do that. I remember, sometimes you'll mix your liquor and stuff like that. You'd be like, man, I ain't gonna ever drink dark and white again because that messed me up. And I think looking at a lot of the people that took that shroom that day, will say, man, that was, I would never do that again. You know, I was so stupid to even try it. But to make it into a, a story where you're literally trying to destroy someone's reputation, I think that's horrible, right? So what people are mad at is Kevin didn't choose to get an attorney and fight against the lies. They're mad at that he actually responds to the lies, and they're willing to call that manipulative or narcissistic because he's not willing to lawyer up where the lawyer would actually have to do the fight, right? Somebody's gonna fight these lies. Eventually, somebody got to fight them. So if the person who the lies are uh, alleged to be towards, if he fights it, then his character is further goes into assassination because he's fighting lies where he's at home trying to really just go on with his life, but people are just steady coming for him in lies after lies after lies to to make it seem like he's trying to date rape somebody. Excuse the word, R word, but they're coming with these lies like there was some type of setup, and it wasn't. Um, I just feel like uh, a lie is not something to take lightly, y'all. There has been people unalive based off of lies. There has been people falsely imprisoned based off lies. There has been people who had to settle out of court, and even when they know they were getting lied upon, they settled and spent all kind of money just to settle the case based off of lies. And I'm not saying that people uh, shouldn't speak their truth, because I do believe if somebody's been harmed or some type of way, of course speak the truth. But notice that nothing was ever said to Kevin that, yo, you illegally touched me. You illegally did this to me. What they're only doing is trying to spin a narrative to assassinate his character, and that's pretty much what they're trying to do. You understand? And what happened was that when that young lady told her story, uh, it kind of made it worse for Royce. And Callie was like, oh, I already know how they're gonna spin it, because he knew that that didn't sound good. Because you've been saying you were about to be false imprisoned or whatever, kidnapped. And here it is, the woman saying, the very woman that you've been trying to give you a bigger platform to tell your story from, that came in cahoots with you, is now being accused of taking somebody's keys and taking their phone, which she clearly left that out of her story. She's talking about she's been napping all day. Well, you didn't remember you took somebody's keys and their phone? That that's part of the missing piece that you forget to add. Not to mention, when we finally seen Kevin and what he was wearing that day, and him in the bathroom trying to deal with his high, we see him with the hat and he got a beard. But no, Royce was trying to say, well, that was a transgender one that walked into the room. Just lying, just flat out lying. And now they I don't know, they're trying to now spin it another way, or trying to get back up off some of the stuff. I ain't no telling what they're trying to do. But I thought that it would be necessary for people to kind of put yourself in Kevin's shoes. That if you're being lied on every day, and someone is going live on you and convincing people to keep the other content creators to go live on you every day. Now you're trying to mind your business. You're trying to focus on your content, or focus on your book writing, focus on your family. And these people are going live about you every day with lies to connect you to some SA stuff that possibly somebody was hallucinating about. This is affecting his home. This may be affecting his well-being. This may be affecting him in multiple ways. But people want to take time to call him a narcissist, manipulative, because he chooses to try to make sense of these lies that's being hurled over him every day. I just think that people need to be more responsible, you know, because there's nobody that's um, exempt for fighting for your reputation, your name, and whether you do it through the courts or whether you do it by hitting your live button. We done seen in this, even in this sector, people have went live when their name has been mentioned. Your name been mentioned, somebody going live about it. Um, People have literally been um, filing whatever they can file to protect their name, right? So it's not no different in my book. It's somebody who's fighting for their name. You know, whether it's on the front end or it's through an attorney, whether you're spending money filing paperwork, and it's going to be the same uh, way in my book. So I don't think that a man trying to recant the story to bring some clarity to it, and it's chasing lies. I don't think nobody's chasing. Like, you're not chasing the lie. If anything, it was the same person that was trying to say, I try to tell Kevin, do not chase lies. That woman is the main person who's been trying to help convince people that it's true. And you can't make this up. And then when the truth come out about Cali, about him getting shot for um, possibly SA and his baby mama's daughter, nobody really want to bring that out. Nobody want to bring out the manipulation of this man. You know, nobody want to bring out the narcissistic behavior that he's been going through. I do believe that there's a disdain for Kevin. I think people just don't like him for whatever reason, and that's fine. I think he's okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I think anybody be okay. You just don't like me. Um, they may not like him because of his lifestyle choices that he chooses to be in a polygamous, but that's his free will. That's his own decision, and he should be able to live his life in peace. So whatever the disdain is, I think that's people's personal issue. I don't believe that it has anything to do with him. Um, but you can tell that that people have uh, it's just something deep rooted about this man. He could be minding his business, and somebody had just come out and just insult him, and that's just unreal. Um, I pray for the brother. I definitely fought, this time around for him because I felt the need to get in it with him because I felt like what was happening in the moment that people, especially with Royce trying to go viral off of destroying her baby daddy's name and reputation through the media, and she's constantly trying to figure out a way to name drop people for no apparent reason. Exactly, Shanta. Exactly. Um, I want to believe that that wasn't the case. I want to believe that if you're highly uh, intoxicated with something, right, with a substance, that if somebody come and ask you, hey, can you give me your keys and can you and where's your phone? I just want, what I'm saying, and they're trying to make sure you don't lose it under while you're intoxicated. That's really a caring gesture. But But to be honest, that is still would cause anybody to worry and question. And that woman went into a panic state of mind, a panic state of mind, and she she began to panic that she needed her phone, and you feel more secure when you have your phone and your keys. That should not be in nobody else's possession because you will feel like somebody's about to try to harm you. So why do they need that? And it was confirmed that she said that she took it. She said, "You're the woman that took my keys." You see what I'm saying? So people got to be careful. While you trying to throw somebody else in the pit, you better be real careful that you ain't digging one for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, yes. It could have got her in serious legal trouble. Serious legal trouble. And that's what I was saying the other day, Shanta, that um if that night was to be investigated like Callie's trying to do, and he's trying to get other people on board with him, um, then they will have to investigate that whole night and go through everybody who was there, and they're gonna have to come up with the investigators gonna end up coming up with the going consensus of what that night was all about and where everybody was at, what was going on. And the great thing, the thing that they don't realize is that because Kevin had his phone, everything is documented and it's timestamped. Everything throughout that night is documented and timestamped. So it's what so we only seen a couple of videos on his from his phone. We do not know all that went on with his phone that night to where he can debunk every lie that's being hurled over into his name. So I think people need to lay off of Kevin, and they may owe this man an apology. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if my signal is going in and out. But that you don't know the truth because people was not there. And so far, you had Lewis come out that will confirm that they never held nobody hostage in that home, ever in their life, whether he was on the clock or off the clock. And possibly himself participated in a lot of functions. So we don't know. For people to go have this vendetta, this woman to have a vendetta against her baby daddy, she's wrong. She's wrong for jumping on board to a story that she said she was napping the most of the night. And then she was being careless as a mother at the same time. And then 2 years later, you get arrested for child neglect. How is your child walking around down there and you the mother and you're on, I don't care if I got a nanny or not. If I'm a father, man, I'm watching my child the whole night. I know his whereabouts every night, the whole night. Ain't none of this. I gotta go find him, look for him, and removing keys from people and all. Like, no way. I don't care who's on the clock. So you implicate yourself for being a woman that would neglect their child while you're trying to harm another man's reputation. And this is not to get her to be silent because I don't know her in and outs with Dwight. But why is your issue with a whole nother man that ain't your baby daddy? You have to ask yourself that. Why are you going this hard to try to make one night at his house a night that of terror? And you're using all the wrong names that created the terror. There was one man who had a trip and he was on a high, spiraling out of control. That's all that was. So once I get in my studio, y'all, I doubt if I'm gonna be able to do it tonight. But I would definitely. come back, soon. And if I need to address anything that y'all want me to address about that, just let me know. But I definitely feel like the setup is on Kevin. The aftermath, it's a setup on him. It was no setup at that time during that ceremony, but now there's a complete setup on him, and that's why I help speak up in this matter. That's why I said, man, no matter what it takes, because I know I understand what happened that night. A fool will understand that. Any clinician, doctor would not jeopardize their license to go along with Callie's story. Understanding that Callie's been on video several times and he recanted the story out of his own mouth, which gives us the understanding that he was high and he was hallucinating and he was paranoid. Any professional psychiatrist that's watching that uh, or doctor that's revisiting all of these lives that Callie's done, that Kevin's done, that anyone else spoke on from that night, they're not going to jeopardize their license and everything that they've dealt with, been through, and for their expert opinion. They're not going to jeopardize that. And everything we've seen is that this man was hallucinating and he was paranoid. And that's what we know. So they can keep going on with trying to publicly shame Kevin, but that's what they're doing. It's a public shame. It's a public outcry, whatever it is, and they're just trying to just do this out of the strength of doing it. So that's where we at, y'all. I know the streets is hot. I'm gonna get ready to end this live. I don't know if my sound is going in and out, so I don't know if this is a crazy live or not. But I just wanted to kind of speak on it. But y'all have a great night, and we'll talk with y'all. All right, stay blessed. We'll get at you.